Steph Curry admitted to not being fully healthy during the NBA Finals, and he did so with one of the better responses we've seen from athletes. No, this is not a, oh, let's just praise Steph Curry for being Steph Curry clip. However, when he says, quote, I wasn't 100%, but who cares? I was playing. I was out there trying to help my team win, and that's all that really matters. I've taken advantage of the summer to get right, and I still have a little bit of work to go. I love how he doesn't beat around the bush. I love how he points out the one thing that the media cannot rip him apart for. I wasn't 100%, which was obvious to anybody watching. Wasn't necessarily limping around, but as we've talked about time and time again, 82-game season, a grueling playoff run, I can promise you there wasn't one player on either team who was 100% during those playoffs. Nobody is at that point, especially when you put through a 73-win season that drained you out. So when he says, but who cares, he's right. Nobody does.
And when he mentions that, it immediately just gets rid of the argument that anyone out there can go forward and say, oh, but what if Steph Curry was 100%? Or what if this happened or this happened? Which is what we know people love to do when it comes to the NBA season, when it comes to the NBA Finals. And I think it's very respectable for Steph Curry because he could come out there and say, you know, I was like 85, 90%. Maybe if I was on my day, things could have went a little bit different, which is what countless athletes have done in the past, where they've kind of tried to make an excuse, but not boldly just state, well, if I was 100%, we would have won, which is something that, as I mentioned, other athletes have done. But he was very respectable to his opponents. He didn't want to make it seem that things panned out any differently than what they could have. He just stated, who cares? Like, everyone out there is playing through pain. Everyone out there is trying their best after such, as you mentioned, such a long season. There's going to be people that have nudges and niggles throughout the year that are going to come back and hinder them. But when you want to win, I think 90% is the new 100% when it comes to that point in the finals. That everyone is going to be playing through the pain. I'm sure LeBron James had some niggles in there that he had to get through. So I actually give a lot of respect to Steph Curry for saying that. I'm happy he did, because therefore, as you mentioned, you don't have people with a scalpel like, oh, maybe we'll put an asterisk next to this final because Steph Curry wasn't fit. Shut up.
Yeah, I agree. And a lot of it comes down to the fact that when you watch these players, like even Kyrie Irving after a couple of those games, it's like, I'm not 100%. No one's 100% at that point. Like I said, you're playing at that point your 100th game, 101, 102nd game of the season. On top of the pressure that's coming down on the fact that the travel schedule when it comes to the playoffs in itself could be grueling because you get your 2 games at home, you're on the road, you're back away. These are never excuses. Nobody has ever sat there and said, oh man, it's game 102, if only the NBA season was shorter. I would wish the NBA season was shorter. People would be more fit. However, even if it was a 66-game season, nobody would be 100% come NBA Finals time. It's just a grueling season.
Yeah.
Therefore, by that point, you're banged, you're beat, you're bruised. The same goes for any sport, NFL especially. When you get to the point of the Super Bowl, everyone's beat to crap at that point. You've been knocking into each other week in and week out. Same with basketball. And that's not the only Curry news, because Steph Curry, he also talked a little bit about having Kevin Durant on the team, and sacrifices that he doesn't feel that really the team has to make in terms to bring Kevin Durant into that offense. Actually, another shout out to our friends over at B-Ball Breakdown. They did another great video on Kevin Durant joining the Warriors and how the Thunder's offense replaced with the Warriors players. It might be a seamless transition.
I was thinking about this over the weekend. I can't remember who I had the conversation with, but someone was trying to make the argument that Kevin Durant coming in means that Klay Thompson's going to have to take less shots, Steph Curry's going to have to take less shots, right? One thing is, when you look at the amount of shots they take in comparison to their shooting percentage, is that they take a lot of shots, and partly one of the reasons why they have such a high shooting percentage is because they're able to take so many shots. So taking away 10 shots per game each and allowing for Kevin Durant won't be necessarily a bad thing for their shooting percentage. They'll just have to be a little bit more efficient. But the other thing was, the other thing was someone who was with me was trying to make the argument that Kevin Durant in that offense with OKC was obviously one of the main figures that was consistently getting the ball in his hands, but he wasn't. Russell Westbrook a lot of the time at the forefront of that offense, and he was using him to adhere to Kevin Durant's ability to spread the floor and bring other players into the pack. And I think that if you're bringing in a Russell Westbrook or you're bringing in a LeBron James like when he came to the Miami Heat, yes, you need to adjust your offense to utilize their strengths. But Kevin Durant, one of the most all-rounded, well-rounded players we've seen in the NBA, is the perfect all-star that I imagine could fit into that team to make them even better. Like, there's a lot of all-stars that you would bring in James Harden, no.
No, LeBron would do really well.
But would you see their offense working is the same? I mean, perfect player fitting into their system that's already in place.
To bounce off your point, the whole thing is that a lot of people think when it comes to finding the shots, right? They keep talking about, well, where are you going to get the shots? Where are you going to get the shots? The thing they're not realizing is teams like the Warriors, especially in Steve Kerr's offense, play extremely selfless basketball. When you're looking for shots, that's selfish basketball. And teams that play selfish basketball, which I'm going to throw a little bit of the Knicks in there, at least in the not last year, the 2 years prior to that, Carmelo Anthony, who takes a lot of shots, also feels the need to. It's a selfish form of basketball, and you're running the offense through one player. The thing is, with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and especially guys like Draymond Green, who move such a fluid type of ball movement, especially coming out of Steve Kerr's elements that he uses from the triangle. He doesn't run a triangle offense. He uses like a high pick and roll set, 2 double screens up top, which are technically kind of illegal screens, even though the NBA, around 12 teams use it effectively. It's still like the high double screen set, which open up your shooters. Kevin Durant is not a selfish player. Russell Westbrook is a little more selfish, and I'm using that word not negatively connotated. I mean it as in high usage percentage. Kevin Durant wasn't the highest usage percentage player on the Thunder alongside Russell Westbrook, and he was the best player on the Thunder.
Yeah.
So when you talk about the Warriors' offense, you're looking at it wrong if you think it's just a matter of where are we getting these shots from. That's not how the Warriors' offense has run successfully in the past 2 or 3 years. The other thing to look out for is their goal isn't to win 74 games. So a lot of people, I think, are going to look at it and go, oh, they were only a 60-win team this year. I think Steve Kerr, alongside many of the players, this is speculative, has realized that it's time to get back to the finals and win the finals.
Takes its toll on you when you're playing
at
that level. And they wanted that.
Take the LeBron method.
Yeah, last season when you were talking to Draymond and everyone was coming out in their press conferences, they were saying, yeah, we want this record. Like, you're gunning for the record. And it helps, but when it comes to a certain point, that sprint that you've been going on for a certain distance, you start to kind of fall away. And that's why these injuries, as much as everyone will be injured, as we talked about, they become a little bit more prominent and things start to kind of take its toll on you. But what happens if they need to make room, Jason, for another Curry on the team? How will they do that?
Like like Seth Curry?
No, an actual other Curry that shoots threes just as good as her husband.
Oh, Ayesha Curry. I keep forgetting that. We have a video. There was an Under Armour promotional tour that the Curry family was taking part in during the summer. It looks like they're having a lot of fun, which is always good for the Curry family because they've been in, for some reason, they went from America's most favorite family to America's most hated family in sports, and hopefully now maybe going back up to the mid-tier. They have lovers and haters of the Currys.
Yeah, I think they're about the middle.
Ayesha Curry, I guess if you're married to Steph, you inherit some good three-point shooting ability, as seen by this wet jumper. There is not one singular attribute more attractive in a woman than a good three-point jump shot.
Yeah, there's that.
Literally none.
It's
true. It's true.
Or what even better is when you get them in just a jersey wearing shooting the three-point shot. I love women in jerseys.
Look, not one single. You got a nice jumper. It's like the greatest quality ever. True.
I want to check Jason's Tinder profile. Looking for a girl who has wet jumper.
That's it.
Some girls holding up a soaking wet shirt.
What's your mid-range game look like off the block? Oh, is it not good? I don't need you in my life.
What happens if she's 10 times better than you? Is that still as attractive?
That's like the most attractive thing ever. Are you kidding?
She's just destroying you one-on-one.
My wife will destroy you in basketball? I'm saying my wife will do battle for me in the future. No problem.
My girl played soccer as well, so it's always good. I mean, I'll never.
Must have nice 40-yard free kick ability.
Must be able to ping one from 40 deep.
40 deep.
Hit the cross. If you can't keep up with me in a crossbar challenge, never gonna work.
Get out. Get out. Comment below, what do you think about Steph Curry's words in terms of his injury, his health going into the finals last year? And I guess continue, there's always fun to talk about Kevin Durant and his transition into the Golden State Warriors. What do you think that's going to look like going into 2016, 2017? All the other stuff is in the description box below. It's good to be back after Labor Day, and we'll see you tomorrow.